Example B. So we are still on 8-1, talking about parabolas, but we are now doing example B where we are going to find an equation in standard form for the parabola that satisfies the given conditions. This one is actually easier than example A1 or A because I'm not asking you for as much. All I want is the equation. So either I want this or that or that, the standard equation. So the first information they give me is that the vertex is at 0, 0. So if the vertex is at 0, 0, we go up to the easy chart. It's one of these two, all right? And again, all I want is the standard form. So it's either x squared equals the 4py or y squared equals the 4px, and of course we have to figure out what p is. So the second bit of information they give me is the focus. The focus is -3, 0. What I notice is the 0 is on the right-hand side. If I look up here at the focus, the one that has the 0 on the right, as my y, is this one, right? I have a number and then a 0. I have a number and then a 0. So what that tells me is I'm on the red side. So that means that this is supposed to be p and 0 is 0. So p is -3. And since we're on the red side, the equation is y squared equals 4 times p times x. All right, well, p is -3. So y squared equals 4 times p is -3 times x. All right, so y squared equals 4 times -3 is -12x. That's the equation. And I am done with B1. All right, that's it. That's all they wanted. They just wanted the standard equation. So I'm done with B1, on to B2. Again, the vertex is 0, 0. All right, still up on the first page up here. And I have my directrix is y equals 4. The directrix is y equals. The directrix is y equals. The directrix is y equals. I'm on the blue side because on the red side, the directrix is x equals, correct? So I'm on the blue side. Y equals, and the formula is supposed to be -p. All right, so that means that -p is 4. If -p is +4, then +p is -4. Because technically all I'm doing here, -p is like an invisible, we have a -1 here, all right? -1 times p, that's -p. So if I divide both sides by -1, the negatives and the ones will cancel, and it'll just leave me with a +p, and 4 divided by -1 is -4. All right, so that made it very complicated, but if -p is +4, then +p is -4, all right? Okay, so the goal, though, was to find the equation, and the equation, and we said we were on the blue side because of the whole y equals thing. So the equation is x squared equals 4 times p times y. And I'll just fill in my p. X squared equals 4 times p, which is -4, times y. And then I'll simplify that. X squared equals 4 times -4 is -16 y. There it is. All right. On to 5. And you'll notice I'm skipping problems. Of course, the problems I skip are your stars, and they are on your paper that I sent to you and are located in your Google Classroom. So if the vertex is 0, 0, again, still on that top sheet, it opens to the right. We didn't talk about openings yet. Or if it opens to the right, you'll notice the red side opens to the right or to the left. The blue opens up or down. What do you think makes it open up, down, left, or right? X squared. So if it has the x squared, it opens up or it opens down. Do you remember what makes a parabola open down? Yes, if there's a negative. If it's negative, it's going to open down. Okay? And then the y squared is going to open to the right or to the left. Same deal. If it's a y squared and it's positive, it's going to open to the right. If there was a negative involved, it's going to open to the left. okay? So our parabolas can open up, down, right, or left. The right and the left go with the y, the up and the down go with the x squareds, okay? Now, that negative actually happens with the p. It's your p. If your p is positive, it opens up. If your p is negative, it could open down. If your p is positive with the y squared, it opens to the right. If your p is negative, it'll open to the left. So, that being said, okay, I know that it opens to the right, and the only way that it opens to the right is if I'm on the red side, okay? So right lets me know that we are on the red side. I know that the equation is y squared equals 4 times p times x. The focal width is 8. Remember, our focal width was always the absolute value of 4p. Didn't matter if I was on the right or the left. It was the absolute value of 4p. So 4p is 8. If 8 is 4 p's, I just want 1 p, I would divide by 4, right? I'll divide by 4, I'll divide by 4, and my p is 2. 8 divided by 4 is 2. My p is 2. All right? Or it could be negative 2. But as for now, p is 2. So if I plug it into the formula, I've got y squared equals 4. Oh, what did I even do this for? I already had 4p. 8 was 4p, so there was no need for me to figure out what p was. Okay? Now if you mess up like I did, it's okay. It'll all come back to you. But the p was a 2, right? And then the x. We'll end up with the same answer. We just did way too much work. So that'll give me 8x. Do y'all see what I'm saying there? My 4p was right here. 8 was 4p. The focal width is your 4p, so there was no need to figure out what p was alone. Not in this case, anyway, because it's just going to end up being the 8. But what's important here is what I said. If it opens to the right, it stays positive. But had this said that it opened to the left, then I would have taken my final answer and made it negative. We're clear? If it's positive, well, if it says right, then it would be positive. It would stay positive. But if it said left, I would change it to a negative. Let's come back to the original, though. And the same thing for the up or down. If it was up, then my final answer would stay positive. But if it had said down, then my final answer would change to a negative. I would just put a negative in front of your coefficient there. All right? So that is B1, 2, and 5, and I will be back with the harder problems. What's it, 6 and 7?